Hey guys, how's everybody doing? First of all, I'd like to thank everybody who has come here to view my channels and all my subscribers that has helped me. And for all of you that's new and that like to know how this is done. So once again, I'd like to tell you that this project is done for now, okay? But it'll be more down the road that I need to put in. But um, it's done for now, for ready for the winter, maybe a few more little touch up. So in this video, okay, I'll be telling you how I done everything and all my errors, okay, that should have been avoided, but anyhow, it's too late now. I don't plan to take certain things out now. uh, First of all, it's very cold and I'm quite very tired now. My leg's been in pain because I have a knee injury from doing all these roofing and patio stuff over the years. And anyhow, so let me walk you through it, everything that my mistake and errors, so that way you avoid it and you'll make a perfect patio roof. Okay, you can do decks if you understand this concept, how I did it, and if you follow through this and see all my errors, you'll know how to do it right. Okay, so let's start with the post. So the post I chose is a 6x6. It's actually overkill for this job because this area is quite small. But the reason why I chose 6x6 for this, it looks heavy duty and it looks bulky. That's what makes the thing look nice. That's why I feel it. Okay, I'll still have to fill in the rails. I'll think about doing that. If I have time, I'll do that now. Otherwise, I won't be doing until summer. And I also have to seal the post. Okay, waterproof it even more. That's for sure. That's a must for me, at least. Okay, so let's start with the post. So the post is basically what I did to this post and how I did it to this stage. Because you already know about the ledger board, but I'll get to that in a sec. For the post, assuming that the ledger board is in, that's the first thing you have to put in anyway, okay? The ledger board is the first. Then for the post, there's two ways or a few ways you can do it. The one I did, the way I did it, was I used a laser and I just ran it straight down, okay? That's how I did it. Another way you can do it, okay, is to put a nail in here, okay, and then string it down. That way you get first, but first you need to get one of your thing in first, which is the post bracket. Okay, you want to drill the bracket I bought here. It's not as heavy duty as it should be. The one for my deck is the back is $100 for the bracket. It's very heavy duty. This one, it's a small area, that's why it's only $30, but it will do the job. Okay, once you anchor it in, it's very sturdy. So I use a wedge anchor, 1/2 inch. Okay, I drill down. The wedge anchor I have is a 5-inch one. So I drill down according to this brick. Okay, as long as it doesn't pass. So I drill about 3 3/4, 3 inch and 3/4, and anchor it down. Then I use the laser to run across to line up with the other bracket. Okay. Then once I got that straightened out, I would put my post in, and this post is 6x6 by 8 feet. I wouldn't cut it yet. I put this in, both of them in. I brace it with 2x4. Okay. Once you brace it with 2x4, then I use this right here, 2x6. I've only put one of them, and I would screw one on each side. Okay. And the way how I did this all by myself is I would put a a ladder on one of the side, depending where you want it. So I put a ladder on that side, just under it, so it's sitting on the ladder. Okay. Then I would screw one in from over there, and I'll come over here, and I have another ladder. I'll go up and I screw it. But before I screw it, I would put my excuse me. I would put the level on top, and to make sure it's level. Once it gets level, I just make my line on the bottom. As you can see, I put my line in the bottom. I would bring this post back down. It's easier to cut it, do all my cutting down on the table. So that's why I took it down and I cut it. Once I got the size, the height right, then I would put in, okay, so now you would need two of them, because I use a 2x6. I just sandwich it. Or you could use a, you know, a 2x4. But I use a 2x6. I sandwiched it so it becomes the right height. Right? Once you sandwich that in together, you got the height you want. You use 2 lag bolt, 2 on each side. I'd make a drill right across, and the lag bolt that I use is a 7-inch. I do have this 2 right here is an 8-inch. I already have it. That's why I use it. But the 7-inch works perfectly. You see how there's room left? You could cut that or you don't. But if this one is just perfect right over here, okay. So that's a 7-inch one. It just goes in perfect. Once you have this part done, okay. By the way, guys, if I've done this in any way that's wrong, let me know, or you think it could have been better, let me know. But I'll tell you all my errors in a bit, okay? Certain way, but this is how I done it. It's very easy for me as a one-person job doing it, okay? You just need 2 ladders to do these kind of thing, okay? So it's in, okay? So now, once you have this part in, okay, and I'm using, just to get this clear, these are not pressure treated. It's only the surrounding, okay, because it's going to be covered up in the future anyway, okay. And then I'll be putting blocks in between to give it, so it doesn't move around with the weather. It fluctuates, okay. So now that you have that, that's when you put these stringers. Technically, here's my errors now when it comes to the stringer, okay. You're supposed to cut a bird mouth, okay. So I use this one as a sample in the beginning. My angle is 22.5, okay. That's what I want my slope to be, okay. So then technically what you're supposed to do is you want to take that top end there, take the measurement all the way down over here to this last part of the beam, the second beam right here, out here. Then you would get your line for that bird mouth. And it's up to you if you want to go 2 inches or 3 inches or whatever. Yeah, because remember, when it's sitting on top of your beam, if you want to go 2 inches up, that means this is going to come down 2 inches an angle. But the angle that you want is to use from that part, okay. So you want to transfer that angle to over here. When it's already on top, you would go up, like, let's say 2 inches or 2.5 inches. Once you get at that 2.5 inches, you would come down on an angle like this way, not straight, okay. Because if you're coming down straight, it's gonna go straight that way. So you want to go down on the slope like that. So when it comes down, it'll just sit like that, okay. You just need that. But what I did was I took that angle and I just cut a box around it, which doesn't look pretty. Yes, I know, and that's not at the end of the day, it doesn't look pretty, I'll tell you that, okay. So there's the error right there, okay. But once you get this angle over here, don't assume that it's gonna be perfect over there. It's gonna be a difference, because sometimes when you, doesn't matter, sometimes when you square this off, it doesn't get to it, it moves around. a little bit here and there, different by a bit. So you also want to get, when you do this side, you also want to get a measure from this side. Then you can cut the whole entire thing the same, and it's only a little bit of adjustments, okay? And what you should do also is to put an anchor in here. You can use a tap gun, okay? Drill a tap gun in there and put a tap gun. It'll be strong enough, okay? And that's where I didn't do that, that doesn't look nice, okay? I'm talking about the stringer where it's supposed to be a bird mouth, okay? There's the area that it doesn't look nice, but you're gonna be covering it down the road anyway, okay? So here, let me show you the ledger board. When I'm talking about, I got a wedge anchor in there, okay? And then as you can see, this one right here, there's a screw there, okay? There's 3 of them, one there, one over here, and one over here. They're 10 inches. They're Simpson type structural screws. Those 10 inches one, it screws all the way into your foundation inside your house. It's a 2x8 inside your house. So that's what it is. It screws in there on a 15 or 20 degree angle. That way it holds it securely to your house. That's what's the structure for how I did it, okay? I've always done that for all my decks and patio, okay? Anything that relates to ledger board, okay? I've always been using those one. So now here is where my everything's gone so far perfectly and structural and level, but this is where my arrow went. I was fiddling around and cleaning after a day and all that. I did not see my my leveling and my stringer. What I should have done was, when I put all these stringers across, when I put my looking for my level, I found it the other day ahead of time, but then when the next day I couldn't find it. This side it's a little low, and I did attempt to put a 2x4 on top to see, and I moved it up already, but somehow when I was doing it, everything in, even when I came to this board, the front one, it's covered already with the white aluminum, okay? The thing is sloping on a little bit on the side, okay? It is sloping a little bit. You can't see like this, but it is, okay? So what happened, it's too late. I put in everything already, and then I realized it's also sloping a little bit there. So there's my error right there. So even as much as in terms of cosmetic, when you put everything in, if you're taking shortcut, what I should have done is just make sure I find that all my stuff to level it straight, to make sure all these stringers on top is flush down, so that way it's like a line. Well, I should have run the line. If I find my line, I should have make sure I find my line and to run it straight across to make sure it's all touching. That way when you put down your OSB, it's flush. So a certain area is not 100%, like especially on this side. Anyhow, the job was done. I didn't plan to take it out. I'm so tired of, but I should have took that time out to do it. So once again, that is a big mistake, okay? Big mistake, because once you got everything in pretty, everything is straight, everything looks good, but on top you're missing a little bit straight. Once you put your shingle down, everything, and once you put your board on top here, the front one, that is when you can see it from a distance, or when you can see it, like I'm not sure if you can see it right here, but it is off a bit. That is where it won't look nice. It bugs the hell out of me, and I shouldn't even make this type of error, because the back, my patio was like 16 feet, and I had it like everything was perfectly in line. It's only this one little error, and that error becomes a big error when you look at it, okay? from a distance. But other than that, the job, to me, it's a that part makes it just piss me off. But anyhow, the job is done. Um, and on the side here, on the top of the roof, I have flashings. Okay, if there's a bunch of ways how you can do flashings. Okay, so if you want how to do it, you can watch other videos how guys do the flashing. But the main key here is putting in the ledger board and putting in this beam, how everything is in detail. I think I described to you, giving you all the details how to do it. Okay, and technically, like when you're seeing this, like these are not pressure treat, it's gonna be covered, and to me, I'm gonna paint it anyway, and I'm gonna build all my stuff around it, so the water won't penetrate in down the road later anyway. Okay, and it saves me a lot of money, certain things for me to do this. Okay, and up here I was careless right here. This is where it doesn't look nice right here. This is where it's ugly. Okay, this is ugly to me. But when I did this in, this is where like I took a shortcut where I aimed that right, but then after that, when I did cut over here, I had trouble because my plants here, my ladder couldn't go up properly, and I made a cut, and then I drilled I hit my nails in already, and then I didn't realize it was bent, and then I started pushing it, but all the nails in. Anyhow, this was really late. It was getting dark when I did this side, so I just left it. But in the summer, when I start to remove this again, to straighten it out, I'm not gonna do it now. Then I'll be fixing this error. Okay, so like I say, certain things when you start to do shortcuts, or you don't give yourself time enough, I should have just left it until the next morning till I feel a lot better, and it's easier to see and to cut this, then it would have been a lot nicer. Okay, guys, so if you're gonna do these kind of job, make sure you give yourself enough time, and at the end of the day, every detail is counts. Small error is okay, but if you something like this on the side, you can see it, so that's what doesn't look pretty. But if you're talking about structural and everything, it is very structurally strong. Okay, that's the whole purpose. Okay, so I hope this video helps you in some way, and please let me know in the comment if you like videos showing you how while I was doing it or something. But like I said, if I do that way, you don't really see me doing giving you a close-up or giving you a detail in how it was done. Okay, so if you like, please leave me a comment how you want me to present videos to you. That appreciate it, help, and I'll make more better videos in the future. So I hope the video helps you in some way, and please give it a thumbs up if you do like it, and please consider subscribing. That'll help me out greatly. In the meantime, have a great day, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.